Ping have launched two brand new irons to their lineup. We've got the i530 and we've got the G730. We're going to hit them both in this video, run you through the tech and maybe with the type of golfer these two irons are aimed at. So two new irons from Ping, and first instincts and impressions on the looks of these irons, they look pretty sleek and a little bit more of a modern look for Ping. And we've seen maybe Ping trend in this direction with their iron releases, starting to look a little bit more sleek in their designs, but still very much that Ping identity that we see. i530 is going to replace i525, so hollow construction, what they call a player's distance iron. And then we've got a new G730, which replaces the G710, which is a very large head. It's the ultimate forgiveness. Ping is saying this is the most forgiving iron they've ever made, and obviously a bit more distance incorporated into this iron as well. So we're going to hit both. We're going to start off with the i530. So first impressions really on the back of this iron, as I say, it looks really quite nice and sleek, a great finish on it. We've got that sort of satin finish, a tiny little strip of polished chrome there, but just a very subtle finish there. i530 logo, and then of the word forged, and we've got like a little bit of what look like a little milling lines across the back. So great look from the back of it. We've got that tungsten screw in the toe. We've seen that on many irons, and obviously that notch out the heel. You'll either like that or you won't, but very much a Ping design there. And into that playing position, and this is great. So Ping is saying if you're liking the look of a bladed iron, but you want some forgiveness and some power, then this is an iron that you should really go and have a little look at. And I think, you know, obviously it doesn't look purely like a blade, but it's definitely the elements of a blade look to it, you know, a little bit of offset. The top line is, I would say it's a medium top line, but they've done quite a nice thing here. They've just chamfered the back edge of that off a tiny bit, so it actually looks thinner what it actually is, to be honest. So great shape in the head, to be honest. Got that white bottom groove as you see with Ping on all their irons. So good looking golf club, I would say. Okay, nice little strike to kick things off there. Slight little pulley one from me, but that felt quite nice. So first instincts, and that did feel quite nice off the club face. We have got this hollow construction, so sometimes we know with hollow constructions we sometimes see a little bit that clickier sort of sound to it. First hit there, not as much as maybe what we see in certain hollow construction irons. So going with the feel there, we've got the word forged written on the back of this golf club, but it isn't a fully forged club. So this has a highly flexible Maragin C300 forged face, welded to then a 17.4 stainless steel body. So it's only the club face that is actually forged. But as I say, with that first shot there, I think the sound was really nice actually for a hollow construction. Yeah, and that sounds pretty good for a hollow construction. Forged face. So we're going to get that little bit of feel maybe off the club face. I think we'll get that just sort of creeping through there. But I think the looks are really good. I think it's great looking golf club. So, you know, I think I sort of see a lot of golfers who really sort of desire to have that very neat looking golf club, that cleaner lines, maybe not as chunky, not as much offset, but then they sort of feel like they always want to try and create a little bit of power and maybe some distance in there. So you're trying to get a balance of best of both. And I think this is really where the i530 really sort of sits in. Now, when it comes to that distance, obviously the lofts are going to play a huge part of that. So this is a 7-iron I'm hitting. This is going to come in at 29 degrees of loft. So clearly the lofts are strong, which is going to help with that ball speed and obviously getting that distance. But then on the flip side of things, these are going to launch a little bit higher. So with that weighting in the club, it's going to allow that launch to get up, and hopefully you're going to get some stopping power on the descent angle into the green. And that's a good strike. I mean, that is high as well. So, you know, I'm more than confident when that comes into land. I'm guessing the spin won't be massively high, but you got that stopping power there. We see a land angle coming nearly at 51 degrees. So I've got more confidence there that I'm going to get this sort of stopping power coming from the descent angle, probably more so than the spin, really. So I think if you're a golfer who likes and appreciates that compact look, that more premium look, then I think the i530 is definitely ticking the box. Ooh, right, that was a little bit of a slightly low in the face strike, very straight. The flight's still up there, so, and the ball speed's still pretty good there, considering that wasn't the greatest of connections. and the drop-off wasn't huge. So maybe with those forgiveness elements just coming through on that particular shot. So internally in the head, Ping have just slightly changed the CG location, a little bit sort of lower and deeper in the club, getting a little bit more around that impact area. As we mentioned, we've got that tungsten screw in the toe. We've also got a tungsten plug in the hosel of the golf club, so that's just allowing them to precisely position that CG as best they can. Okay, we'll hit one more shot and then we'll move into that G730. Okay, it wasn't the purest of strikes, bit of a pull from me, but again, it looks to possibly still pretty good, spins pretty good there, also still getting that land angle. So availability wise in the i530, we've got a 4-iron running through to pitch wedge with a U wedge. So there's no 3-iron available, and they're available both right and left hand. Right, so switching over now, so the G730. So Ping are saying this is their most forgiving iron they've ever made. It's a pretty big looking thing when you first look at it. The sole is quite wide, as you're going to expect. So ultimate game improvement, distance is what this golf club's about, ease of use. And to be honest, it looks pretty good. Again, it's just that it's still got those certain Ping elements to it that we would always recognise with the brand, but I think this little bit of this polishing on the back of the golf club just gives it that little bit more of that premium sort of look. The badge in the back is quite nice. You know, into the playing position. Now, again, it's big. It is pretty big. So, you know, if you want something that's going to bag you with a lot of confidence, then this is definitely the golf club here. It has a bit of that G430 shape into it, but it just looks a lot larger, a bit more offset there. A little bit more of it. It's still satin, but it's a little bit slightly polished satin in the heel and the toe section. So again, very much that premium look. White bottom grooves, as we've seen, big thick top edge, but again, that has been chamfered slightly, so it doesn't look intrusive. Wow, that is loud. That is seriously loud. Let me hit another shot, because I'm not convinced with that sound off that first shot. I'm gonna hit it all right. So high flight that we're seeing there, as we're going to expect. So low CG is a big talking point here. We've got a very thin face now, so heat treated 17.4 stainless steel face that allow them to get it a little bit thinner, so helps with that flexing. So again, really trying to sort of help with ball speed, getting that speed as fast as they possibly can. 7-iron, 28 degrees of loft now, so we're going to 1 degree stronger than the i530, obviously in these distance finding golf clubs. Oh, I just can't get over the sound of that. Flight's great, flight's very good. Very confident spine, as I say, down with that ball, but that sound is just a bit overpowering for me, and it might be for you. Now, if you're not bothered about the sound, these are absolutely fine. So it's this Pure Flex badge, actually, in the back that's helping to create some sort of flexing, as it clearly says, and also that powerful sound. I think they've just overkilled that a little bit for my liking. There's a huge gap in the back of that badge into the cavity of the golf club. Now, if you're very fussy with debris, dirt, getting into little nuts and crannies in your irons, you're not going to like this iron, because there's a bit of a gap there. You might be forever trying to clean that out potentially. And I think obviously that's where all that maybe acoustics will come from, hollowing around inside that area there, but you know, it is pretty loud. So availability wise on these, there's no 4-iron. Obviously with the lofts being stronger, 5-iron is your longest iron, which I quite like that from Ping, to be honest, because generally those golfers would struggle to hit those longer irons. So obviously clearly they're moving into maybe more of a hybrid to replace those longer irons. So 5-iron through to pitching wedge, there's a U wedge, there's a 50-degree wedge, there's a 54-degree wedge. So there's a lot of options in that area because the lofts are stronger. Again, we've got that tungsten screw cap as well as a tungsten in the hosel. Boom. It's like an explosion going off. Okay, so confidence-wise, really summing this up in the G730 iron. Bags of confidence is a big, large footprint down by that golf ball, bit of offset. So I think if you're wanting something that's ultimately is forgiving, I think this is going to give you that chance. It looks premium. The sound, I don't like it. It's as simple as that. It's probably, I think that's going to put a few people off. We've seen Ping in the history, you know, maybe with the G lineup of the drivers starting to get a little bit loud. G425 was one that stood out. Great driver, but really piercing, and a lot of golfers mentioned it through our fittings. They didn't like the sound of it and they wouldn't buy it because of the sound. So it'll be an interesting one to see the feedback of the 730 going forward. Okay, post comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. 2 new additions to the Ping lineup of the irons. Love to hear your thoughts as always. Hopefully I'll catch up with you all very soon.